Hey everybody, it is Callous, and I am back with more Callous Invitational 6, and we have our first match of Round 2, starting out in the winner's bracket. These guys playing for a Round 3 bye and a great 2-0 start to their tour, and boy do we have some opposites here. Z0mOG, I guess to his credit, he did actually play stall last round, but generally in ADV, Z0mOG is much more of an aggressive player and plays really proactive teams. SoulWind, total opposite, somebody who almost exclusively is going to play stall. I have mixed feelings about that. I feel like it's exploitable and narrow, but at the same time, if it works, it works. So whatever gets the job done. I'm not actually clear who the better ADV player is here. These are two guys that I regard very highly, just as in general, certainly including in ADV, but not just in ADV. And I really, like I said, I think it's going to be a contrast of styles. I don't know that Zom is necessarily going to want to get into a stall war against SoulWind. Not that he's by any means afraid of SoulWind. He's very much a big game player and somebody who could step up to the plate and keep up with the top dogs. No clue what we're about to see here, but I'm really looking forward to it. 2-0 start, very much what they're looking for. Let's get into it. Here's game one. Zom is on the bottom, SoulWind is on the top. We have a Zap and a Tar respectively, and he goes for an immediate substitute, and we see a Rock Slide. So a physical or mixed Tar from SoulWind. Substitute again in case he changes it up, but he does not. It's Rock Slide again. So far, Zapdos has simply lost half its HP and hasn't done much with it. There's a third sub. I don't know if he's just trying to get SoulWind to use another move or if he's trying to fish for a miss or what, but it never comes, and he must have a Dugtrio in the back based on the way that this is played. And indeed, he finally just T-bolts him and accepts the trade via Dugtrio. So those substitutes were just to fish for a Rock Slide miss, which is smart, but it didn't come, and it's just going to be a trade. So Coon comes down after Scum comes in on Doug. One layer comes down. Nothing Zom can do about that. He does land a Hydro Pump, but he gets hit with a Toxic in exchange. Scum will always live a non-crit pump here, but just in case he gets cute and goes for the phasing move, he goes for Pump again as opposed to Calm Minding and getting blown out like a donkey. And now it's Protect, which he does not predict and go for a CM. Went for the Ice Beam there, not wanting to miss Hydro Pump. Now Bliss comes in. Now it's Ice Beam again. And that's not going to do it. It's just going to bounce off her for 10%. The Toxic really adding up at this point. Coon about to die. CM and Wish. Sure. Does it have Rest? Uncommon set. It does not seem to. It does get a +1 beam off on Swampert. But the only thing that really could have happened there is a crit or a freeze. Doesn't get either one. The damage completely negated by Wish. Alakazam, its first appearance of the tournament. Not a Mon that I was expecting. It does have HP Grass, it looks like, so Swampert obviously has to be nervous about that. It is HP Grass again, but it's just a pathetic 8% against Blissey. Blissey really walls Alakazam. Zom has the Zap Dug thing going on, and I think that was the plan to remove Blissey, but that ship has very much sailed. And, ooh, it's a very bulky Dugtrio. Takes that Ice Beam really well, but it doesn't have the juice to kill Bliss with this Earthquake pending a crit, which does not come, and Dougie dies, and now I think Zom is in real trouble. Like I said, I think he was really relying on that Zap Dug combo to get Blissey out of there in order for Alakazam to clean up. The Bliss is low enough to where maybe the Alakazam with a Calm Mind boost, like a +1 Psychic maybe, can just punch through the Bliss anyway. But if the Bliss finds a way in at any point and gets a soft boiled off, that Zam is basically completely negated. So Zom is going to have to play very aggressively and play in such a way where there's just no opportunity to ever do that. Psychic there is going to snipe Skarm, catch him up a little bit. Moltres looks very difficult for Zom, given the circumstances. That would one-hit KO the meta. The Alakazam would have to come in on spikes and eat a Flamethrower, and it can't one-hit KO back. Looks like it's going to have to be T-Tar. And it's non-lefties T-Tar as well. Goes for Focus Punch because he knows Moltres won't stay in to eat a Rock Slide. That was a good play. Big damage on the Pert. Surf coming down on Meta now. Meta banking that he's faster here and could do something before he dies. Does go for Psychic there, not wanting to boom into the Protect. Now he might blow up. No, he Psychics again. and he snipes Gengar there. I'm not clear if that was knowing that a Gengar or something to that effect was going to come in, or if it was just being safe against Pert had he gone for a 50-50 protect, but that worked out very well, way better than Boom would have. He kills the Gar basically for free there and gets himself a little bit back into the game. Tar here, the uncommon Rest Chesto set, which I'm actually a big fan of. I like DD with that set. DD Rest Chesto with Rock Slide and Earthquake I think is a super underrated T-Tar set that I've had success with. But that aside, it is a non-DD physical set with Rest, which I think is also totally viable. And Z0mOG has given himself a chance in this game. He still mathematically isn't supposed to win, but he is going to have a window here to crit the Moltres, and indeed he's going to need to do that in order to win. So there's the CM, and Flamethrower is going to come up short. I doubt Zam has recover here. It's probably CM 3 attack, so I think he just needs to find a crit. He does a fuck ton, 90%, because Zam hits like a truck, but it's not going to be enough. It's going to come up just short. Moltres going to survive and counterattack, and that is going to be game 1 to SoulWind. Blissey at just 21%. I'm not sure if it tanks a +1 Psychic or not. Zam really hits hard. It has astronomically high special attack. I don't know my Zam calcs offhand. I don't know if it would have survived or not. I think it would have been close, but Zom gave himself a chance in that end game. He really put himself in a position where maybe with the right luck he could have gotten there. Well, with that, we go to game 2. And here it is. Zom is going to be on the bottom again, and SoulWind on the top again. Exact same leads as before, Zapdos and T-Tar, but different plays this time. SoulWind keeps it real, goes Rock Slide again, but Zom just BP's out to meta, which obviously resists that. He's going to go for the standard mash, generically safe against anything. He's got lefties. Here's the mag switch, and he's going to steal a magnet, which is awkward, but that's not going to keep him alive. Maybe lefties would have, but then, yeah, I don't know. He still was probably too low. But yeah, Zom going to pick it off for free without a single layer of spikes coming down. That's got to be a good start for Zom. He does get a para there, which is lucky. It's only 10%, but it gets lummed away, and then there's the retaliation kill. But even though it's 5-5, it's got to be Z0mOG ahead right now in the early stages of this game. No doubt about that. Always good when you trade Mag for Skarm without a single layer of spikes. That's a huge advantage for Z0mOG. And interestingly, the rare Agility Zap makes an appearance. It's got to be baton passing to a heavy hitter. Agility is like almost exclusively paired with, with him, with Marowak. There he is. That's a fast, mean Marowak. He's going to dance up. This game could already be over. Toxic's great, but he's going to have to dance around this like a champ or have a bunch of Protect Mons or whatever. This could already potentially be done depending on the comp for SoulWind. Meta never lives Earthquake here, so he'd either have to protect or he would have to pivot around it by going to like Salamence or something, blanking the EQ, adding up toxic damage, and there is Salamence, which blanks the Earthquake. That's exactly what SoulWind needed, but Zom's still with a chance here for huge damage. Starmie is going to be the sacrifice, and there is the Rock Slide, but Meta can come in, protect one more time, and kill the Marowak. Zom knows there's going to be a protect, so he decides to not let that happen. Unfortunately, he does go to a paralyzed Pokemon here. Going to try to get some value out of it before he dies. Unfortunately, full para kicking in. Zom, nevertheless, is ahead right now, but the Zapdos is low, and the Marowak is low in poison, so it's closer than it may appear. Does get a T-Bolt off. The mashes never miss. And they do get an attack raise. I was going to say they never raise, but it does get an attack raise on the final attempt. Now he's going to protect. There's no Doug follow-up for Zom. He's just got his own meta here, but he does still have 2 unreveals on the back. +1 Earthquake hurts. Regular Earthquake hurts less. Even though it's bulky, apparently SoulWind has the faster meta as well. It's both bulkier and faster. Just the better trainer, SoulWind. He has raised his Metagross better. Gyra, one of the last pokes for Zom, gets an EQ off, aimed at the meta. Blissey takes it okay, 34%. There's the fodder whack. Comes in on T-Bolt. That actually gives the Marowak a chance to get one more attack off. See if he clicked Rock Slide. He did not. He went for the EQ, and he's going to get Toxic'd out. Leaves us in a 3-3. We still don't know the last poke for Zom. Here's Gyra trying to set up, and indeed, he does go for DD. We know there's a Thunderbolt on the other side, but +1 Double Edge, for example, would do a ton here. Earthquake does a lot, and he's going to survive that Thunderbolt, no problem, even through the sand. It does a ton, but it was never going to kill him there, and now Gyra very dangerous. Salament's going to be the response. That does get an Intimidate off to bring Gyarados back to neutral attack, but he is still faster because of the speed boost. Here's Meta. Hidden Power, that is, well, we still don't know if it's rock or flying because it's resisted by Meta, as it would be either way. Now we're back to the Mence. Gyra now negative on attack, but he DDs to get back to neutral, and of course he's very fast with the speed boost, ×2. Here's Meta, a lot of SoulWind pivoting. That gets sniped by Earthquake, but not killed. And now we're back to Mence. There's a whiffed Earthquake. So the Gyarados back to weak attack, still fast. SoulWind desperately pivoting and doing what he can do. That is HP Rock, as it turns out, but Mence is going to DD up as well, and it will always survive a non-crit HP Rock here. And that is, in fact, a non-crit. Hidden Power takes Gyarados out. 2-2 situation now, and Zom finally reveals his last, which is Snorlax here. Hidden Power. And frustration, Mence goes down, and it's only Meta, a low Meta at that, remaining for SoulWind. He's going to need a critical hit right now, probably needs a crit and attack raise Meteor Mash, and then be faster than the opposing Meta and kill it with Earthquake. That seems to be the only way out, and he's not going to get that. He's going to miss Meteor Mash rather than crit with it. That's going to allow the retaliation Earthquake, and Z0mOG is going to send us to a third game. The winner of which is going to be 2-0 and is going to have a bye in the third round, and the loser of which is going to go down to the brutally difficult lower bracket, given the number of upsets and big names that drop down to that in that opening round. So here we are, the third and final game between Z0mOG and SoulWind. Who's going to win? Let's find out together. For the third time, SoulWind is going to lead T-Tar. He's done it in all the games. Z0mOG does not lead Zapdos this time. He's opted for Coon, and he doubles back to Breloom. Gets that in on Skarm, which is great. That gets him a Spore, and it's going to connect with Swampert here, putting that to sleep. Good start for him. Goes to Focus Punch, and that whiffs on Gengar, but Coon plus Loom is almost always Pursuit-Tar in the back, so we may see that here. No, he goes to Rachi, actually, as Skarm comes in. He gets a crit Fire Punch, which certainly helps his case, but the spikes get off anyway, despite that big damage. Now T-Tar comes in. That eats a Fire Punch. It avoids the 20% burn. We see the Tar has lefties for SoulWind, and it goes for Flamethrower, taking out Breloom. So that was a good turn for SoulWind. Close game, back and forth in these early turns. Lead Coon returns. Jirachi for both players this time. And it is just a Calm Mind on what I assume is some kind of offensive Coon. But he's not happy with the matchup even after +1. And he goes back to his own Rachi, possibly knowing that that Toxic was coming, and blanks it. Fire Punch does not 20% burn here either. And now it's Calm Mind number 2. But that Aerodactyl, previously unrevealed for SoulWind, may scare him away. Charizard indeed comes in on Earthquake, which is what he's looking to do. He'll have a free turn here to substitute if he's got that, or just to click Fire Blast. He does have substitute. This looks like a very dangerous poke. HP Grass would waste the Swampert, and Fire Blast Focus Punch combo, very dangerous to anything else. Fire Blast there with a crit is going to nuke the Gengar there. Charizard really looks like a tough Mon. Here's Rachi coming in thinking it'll be Rock Slide. It's not. It's Double Edge, but he resists that as well. Makes Aerodactyl retreat. Not sure I love the Calm Mind there, since you're going to be scared off by the T-Tar anyway. I think you're supposed to just click Fire Punch there, get some damage, fish for a burn. But he sees it differently. He goes for Hidden Power Grass and does big damage to the Tar. He does get burnt by T-Tar's Flamethrower, which is aggravating, I'm sure. But he switches it up at the right time to Fire Punch and catches the Skarm anyway. And Zom takes the lead. Fire Punch to Rachi on the way out. No burn. And he's going to try to burn stall him out. He wishes here. Fire Punch again, still fishing for a 20% burn that he does not find, And the Fire Punch, despite the boost, will be good enough. Rachi will eat his own Wish, back up to 65% after Wish and lefties. But Zard is definitely going to scare it away. Nothing he could do to prevent the substitute here, unfortunately. Aerodactyl comes in and, of course, pops the sub, but he's going to have to eat either a Fire Blast or Hidden Power. And that is Hidden Power Ice, not Grass here, which I don't think I would have shown. I think I would have clicked Fire Blast here because now SoulWind knows that his Swampert is safe from that Charizard. There is no HP Grass. I think that was a mistake. He's also just going to go to his Lax and get it killed by a couple double edges. I'm not sure what Z0mOG is doing here, but I think we're getting a little sloppy in this late game, maybe feeling the pressure of a Game 3 against one of Pokemon's all-time best players. Nevertheless, we find ourselves in a close game here, and again Zard comes in on Earthquake, which is exactly what he wants to do. He can once again substitute here. The problem is, like I said, he showed that he doesn't have HP Grass, so what are you going to do to Swampert here? Yeah, it's asleep, but you can't do anything to it. He's going to sub up anyway, so now he gets himself in Blaze range to make those Fire Blasts do more, but will it be enough? Swampert's going to protect. PP is also going to be a consideration here. There's only 8 Fire Blasts to begin with. Now he's got 5 of them against a Pokemon that he knows has Protect. He can also miss sometimes, but he gets them for 44%, which is nothing to scoff at. It's a pretty good chunk. Does Zom click Hidden Power here, thinking there's going to be a Protect? I would like to see that. No! He goes for Fire Blast, and he wastes that precious PP. Only 3 of them now, but he's going to connect. It'll at least cooperate with accuracy. And Ice Beam gets him. So it leaves us in a 2-3 situation. This off-Kun is a big threat. Here's Rachi. And there's Calm Mind. +1 Surf or Hydro Pump certainly about to come. And it is Hydro Pump for 55% and an unlucky Toxic Miss for SoulWind at a really bad time. Protect? Yup. And Zom does not click Calm Mind there. He goes for Hydro Pump, which again only has 8 PP, so he's got to be careful. But now it's going to be Z0mOG getting unlucky at a bad time. He misses what would have been the lethal Hydro Pump and gets hit with Toxic. A huge turnaround from before. There's Protect, and that Hydro Pump evidently would have missed as well. All of a sudden, I think this looks pretty good for SoulWind. Not over, but that was a crucial turn for the Hydro Pump to miss. 80-20, it's going to miss sometimes. Going to miss about a fifth of the time, but that was a bad time for it to miss. And now he's going for Ice Beam, trying to negate it with a Freeze, but he doesn't get it, and the Wish gets off whether he likes it or not. And there is nothing he can do here to stop the Protect. That's going to enable the Rachi to eat his own Wish, go back up to 90%. Kun dies to the Toxic, and now only the T-Tar can save this game for Z0mOG. Toxic comes down, and there's no Lum. We know he's got lefties, so unless he's Rest again, Toxic is going to be an issue. He dances for a second time as Rachi wishes up. He's going to need to be the Rest set, but he's not going to because he has lefties. We know he doesn't have Chesto, so I think he's going to be Toxic stalled out here. Well, Rock Slide miss, I think, even though that's aggravating and delaying the inevitable, I think that doesn't actually change anything. I think even if you get him there, because both the Swampert, which is awake now, and the Jirachi have Protect, so I think it's mathematically guaranteed that Z0mOG is able to Toxic stall him out. So the Rock Slide missed there, even though it's aggravating, and oh man, hacks, I could have killed the arrow. I don't think it actually matters. I think, like I said, delay the inevitable, but what I meant was, I think that SoulWind inevitably had the win. I think mathematically, no matter what at that point, you go to Rachi, you hit Protect, you fodder Swampert, you go back to Rachi, you hit Protect, and so on and so forth. I don't think that Z0mOG could have gotten there. There were a couple plays in the middle of this game that I'm not sure about, and it's really a head-scratcher that the Charizard had HP Ice rather than HP Grass. It usually has Grass, but not always, and certainly Grass would have been better in this particular matchup. But giving up the Lax for nothing, I think, was a little bit curious, and then yeah, I mean, obviously he got really unlucky with the missing the Hydro Pump and then the Toxic connecting. But then prior to that, there was the turn where Toxic missed. I mean, I wouldn't chalk this series as a whole up to hacks. It was close. It could have gone either way. and it goes the way of SoulWind, which I'm really happy for him. He has played in all 6 of these CALLOUS Invitational tournaments. I don't know if he has ever started off 2-0 and had the round 3 bye. I'd have to look. I don't have the sheet in front of me, but I think he may be off to his best ever CALLOUS Invitational start, which is fantastic for him. Like I said, I think it's the first time he's ever started off 2-0, which is really promising. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed it. SoulWind 2-0 and going to be taking the next round off. Zom in the brutally difficult lower bracket for round 3. But this is just the first of many matches in the second round. There's 16 of them this round, plus all the nonsense with anti and fixing that situation. So there's a lot of content still to come. In the meantime, if you've enjoyed it, hit that like button. I'd really appreciate it. Consider subscribing so you can follow this tournament properly and fully. And I will see you guys in the next video.